This video is about the complete history of Clancy. Clancy's story begins during the hiatus between Blurryface and Trench. In April 2018, a GIF was uploaded to the vessel page of the 21 Pilots online store. The URL dima.org.info was found in the GIF. The link led to and still currently leads to a white error page. You are in violation. They mustn't know you were here. No one should ever find out about this. You can never tell anyone about this. For the sake of the other's survival, you must keep this silent. We must keep silent. No one can know. No one can know. No one can know. If you look closely, you can see that the capital letters in the error message spell East is up. If we watch the entire GIF, we can see that the link is a lot longer than just dima.org.info. You can't see the entire link from just one screenshot, but you can if you combine these two. There's one part of the link that you can't really type into a computer, so we need to decode that part first. That part has dots that kind of look like the cover of Blurryface. We have the 8 showing there with an underscore and then the leftover one to the right of that. If you're familiar with the Blurryface album cover, you'll know that the 9 circles each represent a song on the album. The way that we know which circle on the album cover represents which song is by the original audio videos on YouTube. Once we know which circle corresponds to which song on Blurryface, we then need to just find the track number of each of those songs. If we put all of these numbers together, we get 153, 986, 42, and 14. The track numbers match the violation code from the error page. Thus, our complete URL is dima.org.info/found/1539864.2_14/clancy.html. The first thing that was uploaded to this website was a journal entry by someone named Clancy. In this first journal entry, Clancy talks about this place called Dima. As a child, he looked up to Dima with wonder, but he has now learned that all this time it had been a trap. Clancy writes that Dima has 9 bishops and that he was honored to serve a bishop named Keons. West wall blocked, east is up, is handwritten on the side of the paper. One line from Clancy's journal may sound familiar to you. This line opens the song Redecorate on Scaled and Icy. It is quoted exactly from this journal. In the second journal entry, Clancy explains that Dima never felt like home to him. He says that Dima is devoid of wonder, but that he is filled with wonder when he thinks of what is beyond the colossal walls of Dima. There are a bunch of letters missing from the journal entry. The missing letters spell out, "You are still sleeping." In the beginning of the jumpsuit music video, Tyler says,
"We've been here the whole time. You were asleep. Time to wake up."
This journal entry was uploaded before the jumpsuit music video was released, which is why we were still sleeping at this point in time, according to Tyler. In the third journal entry, Clancy ponders whether he is the only one in Dima who has realized that living in Dima is not normal. He explains that everyone arrived in Dima with hope, and that their hope was reversed when the bishops instituted vialism as mandate. He says that when someone is smeared, their memory of there being something more than Dima dims. Like they're brainwashing people to come back to Dima, to not want to leave anymore. He ends the journal saying that his hope is all he has in the rigid tomb of Dima and that he will not let it die. This journal entry looks like each line of text was cut into a separate strip of paper. The strips of paper were lined up unevenly. Did Clancy rearrange his journal entry, or was it Tyler or someone else? This image of yellow tape and circled numbers was uploaded to the site before this journal entry was. If you line up the circled numbers to their corresponding letter of the alphabet, the tape will cover the letters that spell out, "We are banditos." The 5th letter of the alphabet is E, and so on. If you unscramble the letters, they spell Trench. In the 4th journal entry, Clancy speaks about a plan to escape Dima. He hopes that the other side, who we can assume to be the banditos, will be able to help them escape. Clancy ends the journal with, "They don't control us." They, meaning Dima, don't control us. If we look at the dots, we can encode them. The first set of dots line up with the letters W and A on the first line of the journal. Next, we have 2 sets of 2 dots. Since there are 2 dots each, we need to look at the second line of the journal. These line up with the letters K and E. Finally, we have 6 dots on the bottom, meaning 6 lines from the bottom of the journal. These line up with the letters U and P. The letters spell out, wake up. In the 5th journal entry, Clancy says that he has escaped Dima and is in Trench now. He reflects on how trapped he was in Dima and how alive he feels exploring the world outside of it. He ends the journal saying, cover me, so we can assume that he's wearing a jumpsuit. The escape Clancy talked about in the last journal entry must have been successful. This is the first journal that is handwritten instead of typed. Since Clancy left Dima, maybe he no longer has access to a typewriter. Another thing to notice is that the paper is torn compared to the nice quality paper he was typing on in Dima. In the 6th journal entry, Clancy writes about seeing Tyler walking through Trench. The way he describes it sounds like what happened in the Jumpsuit music video. He explains that Tyler walked alone and seemed to recognize Trench, as if he'd been there before. Clancy explains how hundreds of banditos appeared on the cliff. He speaks of how he saw a bishop on a white horse come for Tyler. Clancy was confused when he saw Tyler freeze when the bishop approached him. Keon's had been a gentle bishop. This one was something else. Clancy speaks of Trench as the spot between 2 places.
This is the sound we make when in between 2 places.
Just escaping Dima is not enough. You must get past Trench to be free. But Clancy romanticizes giving up and going back to Dima. In the 7th and final journal entry, Clancy explains that Trench was much more difficult to get past than he thought it would be. The trek was tiring and treacherous, and he had to face it alone. He was relieved when Keon's came to bring him back to Dima. Clancy explains that he doesn't know who to follow, the bishops or the banditos. All he knows is that Dima is easier than Trench. He failed to make it past Trench and see the world outside of Dima. Throughout the journal entry, there are letters that are doubled up. The letters spell out, so deep, Ned Bayou. If you record yourself saying this and reverse the audio, it sounds like we are banditos. If you unscramble it and use the letter N twice, you get Ned's Bayou opened. Ned's Bayou is a shop where you can buy Ned merch. Something to note about all of the journal entries is that they look like they have been photocopied, meaning that someone must have scanned the physical pieces of paper and uploaded them to this site. My theory is that Tyler somehow gained possession of Clancy's journal entries, meaning he either found them or Clancy gave them to him. I think Tyler uploaded the journals because there were a bunch of other things uploaded to this site that hinted at the next album at the time, which was Trench. It would make sense that Tyler would know all of this information. On Friday, April 2nd, 2021 at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, a line of text that read "Terminating Files" appeared at the top of the website page, along with a progress bar. Once the progress bar reached 100%, the site was replaced by this page. This page is what you will see if you try to visit the link today. If we replace the numbers of the infraction number with their corresponding letters of the alphabet, we get Clancy is dead. This, however, wasn't the first time we were told that Clancy is dead. The first time was after Level of Concern code game, where for a few days, everyone in the Skeleton Clique was concentrated on finding 20 codes that started with the letters LOC. I made a bunch of videos explaining how to find the codes, so if you haven't watched those yet, you should check them out. The first few people to enter all 20 codes were sent a physical USB drive in the mail. The USB had a bunch of files on it, and one of them was a video of Tyler talking with a TV behind him. As he talked, a bunch of symbols appeared one at a time on the TV screen. Each time you entered a code, you were able to download a drive, which was a file with a bunch of images and videos. Each drive had a few pictures that had these symbols that were on the TV on them. These symbols each stood for a letter of the alphabet. The files were named the letter that the symbol represented. The TV says that Clancy is dead, but we don't believe what's on TV, right? In the Saturday music video, Tyler, Josh, and a bunch of bishops are on a ship owned by Dima Org. If we replace the numbers on the ship with their corresponding letters of the alphabet, we get CID, which stands for Clancy is dead. Finally, we all know that Skeleton Icy is an anagram for Clancy is dead. But if we don't believe what's on TV and if Psy is propaganda, can we really believe that Clancy is dead? In this video, I tried to cover everything we know for sure about Clancy. If I missed anything, or if you want to share your Clancy-related theories, please leave a comment. Thank you so much for watching, and stay alive, friends.